Кажется, совсем забыл про эту херню. Да, здравствуйте. Я рад, что вы прочитали и вам понравилась моя рекомендация. Да, а я успешно все это время болел и еще толком не выздоровел. Голос говна.
Wherever in this world I roam, I carry memories of my home.
Сейчас я зайду в эту херню.
It is the last link I have to the land of my birth.
Где эта херня? Сейчас. Всегда забывай про нее. Все включил. Включил эту херню. Да, с наступающим. Только настроения наступающего у меня, увы, нет. А я тебе не обещал, читер, что буду именно Dead Cells прямо сейчас стримить. Я тебе сказал, может быть. Я тебе ничего и не обещал. Да уж. Ага, прикольно. А вот за пожелание выздоровления действительно спасибо. Телталер Студио, здравствуй. Как у тебя дела? Да хреново. Хреново. Особо настроения нету. Еще толком не выздоровел. Проболел целую неделю. Ангиной, причем этой гребаной. Еще толком отойти от нее не могу. Настроение вообще хуже придумать еще надо. Думаю, по голосу слышно. Блин, какого хера? Я стопроцентно делаю, когда обещаю. Если я не обещал, это не значит, что я буду что-то делать. Поэтому это, кстати, ответ на вопрос, почему так долго видео нет. Я не снимаю долго видео, потому что у меня нет голоса. Насчет во что-либо сыграть обещать никому ничего не буду. Ну и вряд ли я сейчас буду по просьбам во что-то играть. Уж извините меня, но сейчас меня лучше ни о чем не просить.
Follow the wind. Time to go.
Лучше потом, когда я буду более добрый и менее больной.
Here.
Ну, с каким хочу настроением, с таким и стримлю. Какая тебе разница? Не устраивает что-то, ну не смотри.
Time to go. Time to go. Into the wind. Time to go. As one with wind and cloud. Quiver! Glory to the Shogun! Time to go.
Add Astro. Thank you for Add Astro.
Time to go.
Выздоравливай, дружище, на скорбинке.
Спасибо большое за донат. Большое спасибо за донат, Димас. И особенно за пожелание выздоровления.
Huh? I don't want that thing. Way I see it, if the prophecy's true, it's still gonna be a life is all about living in the moment. What use is there in worrying about the future all the time? We'll cross.
You should still take it. You never know when it'll come in handy.
Oh, all right, fine. Thanks. It's just that if I start moving, that means I've all.
Time to go. One with nature.
So you're the blonde traveler that everyone's been talking about. Oh, a magic pocket? Seems you really thought of everything. I guess it's better to prepare for the worst and
Я,
hope
блин,
for the
забыл, на
best.
чем мы в сюжете остановились здесь.
Thanks. Please,
Сумку всем
also thank
раздаю.
the magician on my behalf when you get the chance.
What's this? So you also believe in the prophecy.
What? You mean you don't believe in the prophecy?
No, I
Так я
believe in
сюжет сейчас и
prophecy.
прохожу.
But I also believe in another story. The story says that people once lived in the ocean. They were one with the ocean and couldn't live apart from it. But as time wore on, people desired to live on land and developed blood vessels, encapsulating the sea within their bodies. So, if you ask me, when the water rises and takes us all, it'll be like we're
Oh, we hadn't heard that one before. But people can't live underwater. They'll die.
All right, I'll take it. I guess I just feel that being dissolved into the water does.
Into the wind.
Oh, you already handed out all of the magic pockets? That was fast. So, what did people have to say? I bet you heard, yes, but that will change once disaster strikes. I know they'll change their minds, so it's only right to help them prepare.
300 лет не заходил в игру, это новая зона. Но если 300 лет не заходил в игру, то да, это регион Фонтейн.
Is there anything else you need to do before we leave?
Yes, one last thing. I have the magic pockets made by a workshop in the court of Fontaine. Since we're out and about, I was thinking about bringing him some more material.
So, you want to collect materials? Just tell us what the materials look like and we'll have...
Oh, that would be much appreciated. We'll need some romaritime flowers. I remember seeing them near the waterfront on the east side of the harbor.
Отдай, принеси, блин. Отдай.
Time to go.
It seems we have to use Hydro to collect romaritime flowers.
Давай, Артём. ББ.
Very well.
You made quick work of that. I can tell you're an experienced traveler. I've also finished collecting. If maybe next time you'll feel like helping too, Lynette.
No way. I'm in power-saving mode today. Otherwise, I fear I may not have any energy left for the performance.
Fine. Though the performance is still a long way off. Now that we're finished here, we should get ready to head back to...
So, we're going to the court of Fontaine before we head to the opera house?
Что-то жарко стало.
Good. Paimon wants a tour of Fontaine's largest city and try...
Wait, shh. Have you noticed that person over there? The young girl.
Huh? What's wrong with her?
She's obviously a thief. Magicians and thieves practice similar methods. We divert attention, and a distracted audience is one that watch her movements carefully.
Oh, he's right!
Shh, keep your voice down. We need to think of a way to catch her, but it seems she's very alert. You two can ride the lift over there and wait up top. I bet that'll be her escape route if she tries to run. All right, let's go.
Какой долгий лифт, охренеть просто. На небоскреб будто в 1000 этажей поднимаюсь.
This is the spot where Linny wanted us to wait. Oh, look! Isn't that her? Oh no! Did she notice us? What should we do? Should we chase her? You're right. She might also be trying to lure us away. Nothing's happened for a while now. Paimon wonders if Linny caught the thief. Yeah, let's go.
Are you sure that's all she took? You should check to make sure you're not missing anything else.
No, that was all. Oh, I can't thank you enough. I didn't notice. Anyway, I should be going now. Thanks again.
Oh, were you returning what the thief had stolen?
That's right. Pity I wasn't able to catch her. She distracted me by dropping the thing she stole on the ground. By the time I looked back, she was already gone.
I saw the general direction she went, but Linny twisted his ankle, and I needed to make sure he was okay.
Oh, did you get hurt, Linny?
I'll be all right. It's just a twisted ankle, that's all. In fact,
If you want to play at being a hero, at least try not to get hurt doing it. Imagine what would happen if you managed to derail our performance as a result.
you're right. Sorry, Lynette. I have to admit that the thief was even more skilled than I had anticipated. But at least we were able to get the stolen items back, so it wasn't a complete failure.
What a slippery little thief. Guess things turned out all right in the end, though. Linny's initiative paid off.
All right, let's put this little detour behind us. We should go to the court of Fontaine now.
we ride this thing to go into the city? What an ingenious way to get around! People in Fontaine...
This is an aqua bus. It allows people to travel between several key locations. It's pretty convenient, but the ride can become a little dull after a while. The scenery is always the same. That's why it's better...
So you mean it's still boring even when I'm riding with you?
No, that's not what I meant. It's just that, well, you don't really talk that much. Besides, it doesn't really feel like a real trip when it's just the two of us. It's the same as being at home.
Whatever.
Guess that's what it's like to be an older brother.
It's about time for us to leave. Let's get on...
Huh?
What? Traveler! Paimon!
Charlotte!
Oh, I'd never guessed I'd bump into you while riding the aqua bus. In the story of my life, this is big news. What are you doing in Fontaine? I didn't hear anything about you paying us a visit.
Yeah, it's quite the coincidence, but as travelers, we're always on the move. It's not surprising that nobody knew we were coming. Though we still have no idea how the Hydro Archon knew about us. Oh, let Paimon introduce you to our new friend!
Oh, no need for introductions, Paimon. I would recognize the great magician Linny and his assistant Lynette anywhere. I wouldn't be much of a reporter if I didn't know who they were. It's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Charlotte, a reporter for the Steambird.
Nice to meet you. From the Steambird, huh? We've often relied on your paper to promote our performances.
It's an honor to meet you.
Now that everyone knows each other, Fontaine suddenly doesn't feel like such an unfamiliar... So, what have you been up to lately, Charlotte? Any big news?
Not too much. When there isn't any breaking news, I mainly cover the trials at the Opera House. You can still manage to keep readers' attention as long as you tell things from a clever enough angle, even if it's the same old topics. For example, reporting on how a scammer once deceived vulnerable girls into relationships, or how a financial criminal was once so poor that they ate a single piece of bread for 5 days. You're right. Seems you know me pretty well. What I'm really after is exclusive, sensational news pieces that could shake the country. These smaller stories are a waste of my time. Oh, I just remembered. I've been following a case lately. Well, a series of cases, actually.
You mean the serial disappearances of young women case?
That's right! These stories are the talk of the town right now, and it's probably the most mysterious case we've ever seen. If I'm the first with a draft ready to publish when the case is finally cracked, and it's the headline story in the Steambird, oh, when that happens, I bet all the other reporters will shed tears of envy. I've already gathered all kinds of materials. I just can't wait for the
So, what is the serial disappearances of young women case?
That's right. The first missing girl case happened almost 20 years ago. And ever since, after a period of time, another girl disappears. What the cases have in common is that the girls are all, but the scariest part is that to this day, none of the girls have ever been. Many suspects have been arrested over the years in connection with this case, but shortly after each arrest, another disappearance would always happen. Yes, it's possible. But either way, I believe that every case has some precise truth behind.
Yes, I agree. And at the very least, the family of those missing girls deserves some... I just imagined for a second what I would do if Lynette were to suddenly disappear. I'd pay any price to get her back, and then find a way to track down the culprit.
Please don't imagine that, Linny.
I really enjoyed chatting with you. Life should be full of pleasant little surprises like this.
Yeah, us as well. The ride went by too quickly.
I have an interview to get to. I should get going before...
Okay, Paimon hopes we can chat again.
Bye now. Oh, be sure to stop by and see me at the...
What a tough job. Always running around and interviewing every...
If you don't mind, how about we stop by my home first? Besides, I still have all the materials we collected.
Sure, we wouldn't mind at all. This city is so huge, Paimon wouldn't know where to start.
This is our current abode. Ah, Fremine, you're home. Where did everyone else go? I have some new friends that I would like to...
Oh, they all just went out a moment ago.
I see. Everyone is getting busier now that Father will be returning soon. I suppose that can't be helped. Allow me to introduce you to my little brother, Fremine. He is a phenomenal diver.
Hello.
Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the Traveler. Oh, you sound very proud to have a diver as a brother, Linny.
Linny, could you come here for a moment?
What is it, Fremine? Do you have something to tell me? Okay, I see.
Is everything all right?
Oh, it's nothing. We were just discussing a little... Oh, before I forget, the Traveler and I collected more materials to make magic pockets.
Yes, I went diving and gathered lots of materials.
That's our Fremine, always quick with the underwater work.
Looks like rain.
Oh, you're right. But wasn't it clear and sunny just a moment ago?
I'm afraid that's just how it is here. It often rains on days where there are trials being held in the Opera House.
Как кажется, в целом мне вот не особо понравилось в плане размеров, уж очень неудобно тут лазить даже со странником, но так неплохо. Да такая, не особо яркая локация, такая, обычная какая-то, так, пока что ничего такого в ней нету особенного. Просто как бы игровая локация, вот и все, ничего не скажу о ней.
What's wrong, Fremine?
There's a legend about the rain that I tend to believe. It's said that a dragon of water once resided in Fontaine. Though we don't know where the dragon went, every time it weeps, the skies will cloud up and pour out
Персонажи
rain.
яркие, красочные, характерами все. А локация нет. Такая она красочная, как хотелось бы.
When I was a child, my mother told me that if I wanted to go outside and play, I should yell toward the sky at the top of my lungs. Hydro Dragon! Hydro Dragon! Don't cry!
If it's an elemental dragon, then having the power to make it rain wouldn't be very unusual. Let Paimon try something. Hydro
doesn't seem to be of any use. It is just a legend after all.
You know, you might be a more popular magician if you understood the concept of romanticism. Or could at least play along.
Sorry. It might be because we've never met the Hydro Dragon. Perhaps it can't be comforted by the words of strangers. It rained for longer than I suspected. Oh, it's already getting...
Was there something you needed to do, Linny?
Yeah, some preparations for the show at the Opera House. I need to find a way to catch the last aqua bus of the day.
Аквабус, блин.
On the day of the performance, just ride the aqua bus to the island of Aeneas. I'll have Lynette meet you at the fountain in front of the Opera House.
Oh, are you leaving now?
What is it, Fremine? I'm in a hurry. Oh, I get it. Perhaps we could trouble the Traveler to help us take these materials to the Beaumont workshop and deliver them to the owner there? I'm afraid that Fremine can be quite introverted. And the boss there tends to be pretty talkative. Fremine has always been a...
No trouble at all. Don't worry.
Я бы тоже не хотел бы с какой-то болтливой хозяйкой что-то относить ей.
Sorry for the inconvenience. I'm quite useless when it comes to such tasks.
Oh, no need, no need.
Oh, hello there. New customers? Looking to buy, or do you need something made? Or perhaps you're just looking for a chat?
Oh no, we're just here to deliver some materials. Here they are. They're for making... what were they called again?
Ah, these must be for magic pockets. I could tell right away. I've already made several orders worth now. No need. They've already prepaid several batches worth. When they told me what they'd be using them for, I even offered them a discount. But they insisted on paying the full amount, saying that I had a business to run. It seems both are...
Whoa! So, is Linny actually...
I can't say for sure, but who knows? Maybe there's good money to be made being a magician in Fontaine.
Hey! Is this machine what you use to make stuff here? It looks really advanced.
Озвучка приятная.
Why use your hands when a machine can do the work? It would be a waste not to use the latest technology. And wasting is a kind of crime.
But where does a big machine like that get its power from?
Well, it's a little complicated. I'm not sure I can put it in layman, but basically, everything we usually use here in the city is powered by indemnitium. It's a type of energy that's produced from trials.
Huh? How can trials produce energy?
И далее сидят, что ли, там в зале суда крутит. Или чё?
Well, I'm not completely sure of all the details myself, but basically, when a trial is in session, the oratrice mécanique d'analyse cardinale harvests people's belief in justice and converts it into energy to be used all around Fontaine.
Я думал, там судья сидит и педаль наяривает, и вместе, и все, кто пришли туда, тоже педали дают, наяривайте энергию.
So that's what its other function is? Paimon heard that the oratrice was created by the Archon to make judgments. But Paimon still doesn't get it. How could something unreliable like people's beliefs be turned into a stable power source for these machines? Oh, yeah! So that means the Hydro Archon relies on the machine to take the energy created by belief and turn it into power for all of Fontaine, right?
Even though I've never heard anyone really put it that way before,
Меагейс.
sounds like
Вроде
it
бы
makes sense.
как-то. Так, иногда. Здравствуй.
Besides indemnitium, we have another type of energy called pneumosia. It isn't produced by the power of the Archon, but it is unstable by nature. Even now, it still cannot be widely used by
I thought I'd find you hard at work, but here you are chatting the day away. Since you're already talking, I'm sure you wouldn't mind a few words with me.
You again? Didn't I already promise you that I'd have the more I owe to Confrérie of Cabriere by next month?
Yeah, but how do we know that you won't go running off by the end of this month? I want 50% today. Wait, no, 70%.
Huh? You...
Seems business isn't so great for the workshop. We've already finished our job and delivered the
Поддержать?
materials.
Ну, спасибо.
Maybe now's a good time to leave?
Hey, hold on! Before you go around trying to collect payments, why don't you settle your own debts first? If Confrérie of Cabriere wants to poach clients from Northland Bank, that's fine. But I'm afraid you still owe the bank a hefty sum of mora. So why don't we work things out between us first, before you get back to your little conversation here?
Тарталья, блин, вмешался.
You're from Northland Bank. But we said we'll pay everything we owe next month. Why are you
Traveler, Paimon! I didn't think I'd run into you here in Fontaine. What are the chances?
We're surprised to see you too! What are you doing here in Fontaine? You didn't want to stay in Snezhnaya?
Long story short, I've already been in Fontaine for some time now. And honestly, things have been pretty boring.
Ну да, возможно, тут можно заскучать.
But it seems that
Локация
fate brought our paths together
не
today.
блещет своей
Not only will I
живописностью.
have some good friends here now, but ones who always seem to find trouble. Either way you look at it, it seems things are going to get a lot more interesting now.
Pretty sure we'd want to avoid anything that you'd find interesting. Besides, our trip here has gone pretty well so far. Right,
Traveler? Hey, you, Northland Bank boy. Aren't you forgetting something?
Don't interrupt. It's not often I run into the Traveler like this. Why don't you wait for me over there for a while?
You kidding? Aren't you the one looking for us? You really expect us to sit and twiddle our thumbs while you catch up with your friends?
Да, мужик, успокойся, чё нервный такой?
Listen to me, boy. If you want your mora, fine. Why don't you come and take it?
Hey, I just said not to interrupt. Oh, by the way, Traveler, the last time I took Tonya and Tusser ice fishing, Tusser said...
Hey! That's way over the line! All right, boys, let's see who has to pay up now!
Серьезно? Рабочие взбунтовались.
Can you at least let me finish one sentence? Fine. Though the bank told me not to get rough with our clients. You're the ones who started it. This is an act of self-defense. You two will have to be my witnesses, okay?
Да без проблем.
I'm sure this won't take long.
Ты, дядя большой, за тебя не надо заступаться. Ты сам можешь побить всех. А, в смысле, я... А, ну ладно, это типа он сам бьет.
You can run, but you can't hide. Ha.
Хоть кто-то за себя может постоять и не просит меня.
What's your deal, Brad? How are you so strong if you're just a staffer from Snezhnaya's Northland Bank?
Oh, now you notice. It's a little late, don't you think? Just make sure you understand that you don't mess with Huh?
Now's my chance.
Что за шанс? Да, он и без магии, в принципе, может ушатать в рукопашку, я не сомневался в этом.
I'm not sure. It's as if I suddenly lost control of my hydro powers when I needed them. Maybe there's something wrong with my vision?
Если уж он так хорошо владеет луком и парными вот этими водными клинками, то, естественно, он и в рукопашку и без этого всего может навалять.
Strange. How could that happen? First time Paimon's ever heard of someone losing control of their vision.
Never mind. It doesn't matter. If I want to stay sharp, I shouldn't be relying too much on my vision anyway. Besides, I always have my delusion in case I need it.
So what are you doing in Fontaine, child? I don't see its work for Northland Bank.
Well, I guess it's because I've been in a bad mood lately.
Huh? What kind of reason is that? Wait, since when do you feel down about anything?
I don't know. Maybe I still have a lot to learn about myself. But recently, there seems to be some sort of restless power stirring inside of me. And I don't know why, but every now and then I feel...
Maybe you losing control of your vision just now is connected with that power you're feeling.
That is a possibility. I can't remember if I ever mentioned it before, but when I was 14, I fell into some unknown abyss.
А куда ты упал? Что это такое?
It was during that time I learned nearly all of my abilities. The one who took me under her wing and taught me was named Skirk. She was always quiet and very mysterious. Nobody knew where she came from or what she had been through, and she was always very strict when teaching me combat techniques. One time,
Давай-ка в чате без спойлеров, а?
From what I could make of her answer, it was... Because I had awakened it, and traces of it remained on me. She said that all my combat training would be useful in the future.
But what is it? What did you awaken?
She never explained that. But my guess is that it's related to a dream I saw when I had just fallen into that. In my dream, I was in the deepest depths of the sea, and the boundless seabed was all around me. But in front of me appeared a whale that was so massive.
A whale? Oh, that sounds familiar! When we fought against you before, you summoned a huge whale that seemed to leap at us. Is that the one?
Да, это тот самый гребаный ваншот, который убивает персонажа, если он стоит ровно на месте, без щита Джунли. Это та самая херня, да.
That's just an abstract form of a whale that I create using my elemental powers.
Причем очень мощный, правдоподобно.
It takes that shape because the scene I dreamt of the whale has always been stuck in my mind. I'll never forget it.
So you used the whale as inspiration for one of your moves? Huh. Seems a little twisted to Paimon.
Чудаковато, но действенно зато.
So why don't you just go ask your master? Maybe she knows the answer.
You make it sound so easy. Ever since the incident I experienced there, I've never stopped searching for Master Skirk and that unknown abyss. But it's been years now, and I've still found nothing. There isn't even a trace of the place where I remember falling into the abyss.
Oh, it sounds like some kind of ghost story.
Yeah, I'm out of leads at this point, but there's nothing more I can do. It seems that strange encounters in this... Oh, seems the time really flies when I'm talking with you. I just remembered I have somewhere else I need to be.
What? More work for the Northland Bank?
No, it's more of a personal appointment. Lately, I've been sparring with some of Fontaine's official champion duelists whenever I'm feeling bored.
Official champion duelists? You mean it's their job to duel?
Yep. In Fontaine, before a criminal goes to court, they're given one chance to defend their honor by requesting a duel with an official champion duelist.
И как это защищает его честь? То, что даже если он победит этого дуэлянта хренова, и как это может вообще... Это вообще-то не защищает честь, а пятнает ее как бы, ну да ладно.
And the duel itself is a no-holds-barred fight with no specified stopping point. So engaging in such a duel is regarded as a symbol of defending your honor. If a criminal manages to win the duel, they'll be acquitted. But if they lose, they'll have no choice but to stand trial.
Ой, бредятина какая-то. Тоже мне оправдание чести.
And the worst case scenario is that you're simply killed in the duel.
Дервилл, здравствуй.
Though it's rumored that Fontaine has a death penalty, from what I can tell, no one has ever been officially sentenced to death. So really, the only people who opt to duel are those who have suffered a grave injustice in being accused, or those who greatly value their honor.
Да,
Otherwise,
болею.
why gamble with your life?
So, do many people actually get out of their trials by winning the duel?
Apparently, it's exceedingly rare for anyone to actually win. Fontaine probably enacted this system as a way to show that the nation respects the honor of its citizens. Besides, none of the champion duelists are to be trifled with, which is exactly why I was itching to face them as soon. Apparently, the one I'm meeting today, Clorend, is the strongest of the champion duelists. I had been asking her for some time
У
before
них
she
что, еще
finally
этих
agreed to
дуэлянтов
face
и
me
имена у
today.
каждого, что ли, есть? Тьфу, блин. Ну это же роботы какие-то, я же правильно понимаю, дуэлянты имеется в виду, тут какие-то роботы механические. Вряд ли же это будет какой-то человек там сражаться.
Well, that's child for ya. Paimon feels like we heard that name somewhere before. Clorand. Huh.
Спасибо, Дервилл.
Oh, before I forget, I want you to have this.
Чего?
Huh? Your vision?
А мне-то он зачем?
Just giving it away?
Я и так водной стихией могу владеть, мне водный глаз бога не нужен.
I'm just worried that it could become uncontrollable again. I'd be pretty upset if it got in the way of my duel, so I think I'll be better off without it for now.
Серьезно, дядь? Ну, как скажешь.
Besides, I just need you to hold on to it for a short while. I'll come retrieve it when I have some time later.
Ну, ты уверенный все, конечно, ничего не
Nobody knows
скажу.
what you're up to. You just want an excuse to come talk to us again, don't you?
Whatever gave you that idea? I'll be in touch.
That sneaky guy. He said he's been feeling down lately, but he seemed the same. Well, since we don't have much to do for now, we might as well walk around and see the city before Lenny's
Саундтрек пока мне не особо нравится. Местный, городской.
Who could have seen that coming? The reporter who was barely around for most of the story was the murderer all along! Sorry. Paimon was just surprised, that's all. Whew. Paimon never saw that twist coming. The murder mystery novels here are amazing! The whodunits here in Fontaine are a lot different than the light novels you see from Yai Publishing House. Both have their merits, but Paimon thinks this style of novels are
Чего?
more... Well, it's so exciting to reach the moment when the mystery is uncovered, especially in the one Paimon was
Не,
just
мне
reading.
в
You should
Инадзуме
buy a
как-то
copy
больше
and read it
нравится,
too.
нравилась вот эта вся тема. Хотя здесь еще толком даже ничего не показали, но мне кажется, в Инадзуме лучше.
Oh, sorry about that. But, hey, shouldn't we be heading to the Opera House to see Linny's performance soon? It's almost time for... Linny said that the Opera House is on air in ES, so let's go ride the Aquabus!
Чего, блин? Так, на какой мне акваавтобус надо сесть? Так, это же здесь наверху, да, мне надо сюда. Погоди, чего? О, телепорт. Предположим. Это... Так, где лифт? Лифт не здесь, что ли? Или здесь? Ну-ка, зайду. Так, тут есть лифт? Ну, или ступеньки хотя бы. А с виду здание таким большим казалось, намек на то, что тут был лифт. На самом деле его что-то нет. Лифта не видать. Ну ё-моё, мой лифт. Ну, предположим, лифт где-то здесь. Лифт. Это? Блин, где лифт-то? Что за ересь? О, лифт. Давай до Талова. Так, мне туда, что ли? Сделаем вывод, что мне сюда. Блин. Да что? Когда это... А, вот. Сесть. Я что, туда поеду, да? Да, вроде туда поеду. Да? Ну, по идее, да. Давай, поехали.
Welcome to the Navia line. I am Elfan. The boat will be departing imminently.
Чего?
Please do not stick your head, hands, or other body parts outside the boat. The Aquabus operator is not responsible for any accidents or injuries resulting from doing so. Also, please remember to buy the Steambird.
Чё, и рекламу тут зафигаривают мне. Совсем ни стыда, ни совести. Да хорош ты вы со своей рекламой-то, а? Даже в Геншине уже реклама.
Look to the left in the direction we are currently traveling, you will see the famous Fontaine Research Institute up in the sky. An experiment gone wrong turned new sightseeing opportunity. Human ingenuity truly is a wondrous thing.
Ну, по крайней мере, на этом акваавтобусе ехать виды более интересные открываются. О, удель.
Whoa! Now this is fancy! The Opera at Eclairs. What a place to hold a... Huh. Looks like there's a lot of people standing around the fountain up ahead.
Oh, Archon, please bless us with a bright and healthy child. We pray.
I don't know why you always feel the need to ask so much. I'll be happy as long as our child is healthy and lives a peaceful life.
Ну да.
I guess if they're our kid, then there's no doubt they'll turn out smart.
Maybe this is one of the customs in Fontaine. There sure are a lot of couples here.
Чего?
What's wrong?
Кто такой Вашер? Ой, блин, я-то думал, все, отошел от галюнов с Сумеру. Всяких там пахучих порошков. Что, теперь в Фонтейне тоже, что ли, будет?
No, Paimon didn't say anything. Are you hearing things?
Welcome to the Fountain of Lucine. All the water flowing through Fontaine converges here. It's customary for newlyweds to come here and wish for children.
Lynette, you scared Paimon!
Lenny asked me to wait here for you, remember?
Right.
What do you mean? There are a lot of people here right now.
Hey, you're not trying to scare Paimon, are you? Besides, it's the middle of the...
I see. I might be able to tell you... In fact, you might not be imagining things at all. I suspect that what you heard is a result of your hypersensitivity to the hydro element.
It's because of her sensitivity to the hydro element? But what would hearing a voice have to do with the...
When do you cry, Paimon?
Wait, what? What does that...
Just answer me. When do you cry?
Тяжелый вопрос для
When
Паймон.
Paimon's really sad? Oh, and when Paimon's super happy. Oh, and also when Paimon's really, really scared.
Then you should understand that tears contain your most intense emotions. Like I just mentioned, the Fountain of Lucine is where all the flowing water in Fontaine converges. Even the tears that fall to the ground will eventually gather here. So maybe what you heard was the intense emotion coming from someone's tears.
So, what did the voice say? Huh. If you were hearing their emotions...
Rather than worrying about them, we should worry about my brother first. Don't let that calm look of his fool you. He tends to get pretty nervous just before a performance. So chatting with Lenny might...
Oh, right. That makes sense.
Traveler and Paimon, good to see you. I knew you two would come.
Are you kidding? We wouldn't miss it for the world.
I can tell, judging by how early you've arrived, but you're actually right on time. The audience still hasn't started entering the venue yet, which means now is the perfect chance for us to take you to the best seats in the house.
Ну, хотя бы за билет платить не надо, и на этом спасибо.
The Opera House has assigned seating, so you always have to make reservations. I've already reserved your seats, and here...
Ooh, front row seats! Thanks, Linny!
Don't mention it. There's no need to keep thanking me.
Hey, Lenny! Could you come over here and take a look at this?
Oh, I'll be right there. Seems there's an issue with the stage props over there. That's Cal, my assistant, calling me. I'll go lend him a hand.
Yeah, we'll just go to our seats. You go ahead, Linny.
Так, ну это уже более-менее нормально выглядит. Красиво. Вот это зал, вот это я понимаю, дизайн хороший. Да, зал красивый, дизайн мне нравится.
Oh, these should be our seats. Come on.
О, Джон Ли, что ли, сидит второй? И как его, Невилент? Ну и чё вы, сидит и сидит себе.
Hey, traveler. Maybe we should strike up a conversation with the person next to us. Since we're sitting together,
Блин, да чё вы привязались-то?
practically empty still. It's kind of awkward if we don't say anything.
Вполне нормально сесть, типа, сидеть и молчать. Почему обязательно надо с кем-то заговорить? Да нахрен надо?
Of course you put this on Paimon.
Excuse me, I did not realize you felt awkward. I am terribly sorry.
О, молодцы, блин. Сделали вид, что некомфортно с ним сидеть.
I would be perfectly happy to chat with you if that is what you would like.
Oh, so you heard all of that, did ya? Wait, that's not it. Paimon's sorry. Paimon's the one who was being rude, talking under her breath like that. So let's talk, but...
Ой, это тупо выглядит со стороны.
Oh, Paimon's got it. You're also here early and sitting in the front.
A friend, you say? Well, if Mr. Linney would like to be my friend, I would be more than happy to reciprocate.
Не, ну в принципе дядька уже как бы дает себе такой авторитет, показывает свой офигенный. Не ошибался, я в нем крутой чувак.
Oh, so you're not friends with Linney then? Oh, this is getting more awkward by the second. Paimon,
Характер реально почти как у Ли вырисовывается.
Nice to meet you. Paimon is Paimon, and this is the traveler. We just arrived in Vaudain.
It is an honor to meet you two. I have heard of your deeds across Tevat.
О, даже ты слышал, хорош.
And as required by proper etiquette, I will also introduce myself.
Невилент.
I am...
Oh, Monsieur Nervillet. What an honor it is to have you here to see my show.
Ah, Mr. Linney. I should say it is in fact an honor for me to see your performance.
Wait, Nervillet? Could he be?
I saw you all chatting just now, but it seems you still don't know who Monsieur Nervillet is. Allow me to introduce you to Fontaine's Chief Justice. That seat is always reserved for him. It wouldn't be too much to say that he's the symbol of justice and honesty here in Fontaine.
О, верховный судья Фонтейна. Фига себе, дядя. У тебя, конечно, тут прям большая должность.
Sorry for being so rude just now. Paimon had no idea you were such an
А вот
important
про
person.
птицу было лишнее.
No offense taken. Being Chief Justice is merely what I do for work. Nearly every person has their usual reserved seat, so... And by the way, I should probably let you know, even though There's someone sitting up there in the VIP seats that has been striking a pose for quite a while now.
Ой, блин. Сидит. Ну и чё она там
I
сидит?
believe she is trying to give you a most elegant and impressive first impression. So I think you should take notice of her sooner rather than later. Otherwise, she may become flustered.
Ой. Ну и чё?
Huh? Oh, it's Farina, the Hydro Archon. Huh. She sure has a smug and satisfied look on her face.
Very good. That is for the best. No need to pay her any more attention. We may now enjoy the
Да,
show.
можно было вообще ей внимания не уделять.
Huh? So is this what things are like between the Chief Justice and the Hydro Archon?
All right, please wait just a moment longer. I've pretty much finished my preparations, and the performance will start as soon as the audience has made...
Yay! The show's finally about to start! Paimon can hardly wait! Oh, they're dimming the lights! The show must be starting!
Так, все, тишина, сейчас будем театр смотреть.
Sorry. Paimon will try to stay quiet.
Да все, Пайман, замолчи уже.
Welcome, one and all, to the Opera Epicles. I am the star of today's show, Linny.
Блин, ну вот зачем вы мне вот эти вот титры даете? Лучше бы касцена была бы как касцена, чтобы я не мог тут ничего не останавливать, не тыкать. Вот, блин, вот сэкономили на касцене, что ли?
And over here is my sister Lynette, who will be working as my wonderful assistant. Please, let's give her a warm welcome.
Hello, everyone.
I know she may seem to be a little sleepy right now, but that's just a sign that she's nervous.
Whatever.
Now, some of you may be thinking, two vision holders who can freely manipulate elemental powers performing magic is not true magic at all. So, I would like to take a moment to assure you that elemental powers will have nothing to do with what you will witness on the stage today. Both Lynette
Ну и
and
взгляд,
myself
конечно,
have
у этой,
removed our visions for the show.
у Линет.
That way, even the gods won't be able to help us.
Oh, good point. That's what makes the show real magic.
Now, without further ado, let the show begin. Lynette will now exit the stage to make some preparations. I know you might miss her, but don't worry. She'll be coming right back on stage momentarily. Perhaps in an unexpected way. Oh, and before I forget, there's one more thing I should say. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. A magician's greatest skill
касцена.
is making things disappear or appear. The possibilities are endless.
Атмосферно. Давай, достань кролика по дефолту. Ну ладно, это тоже неплохо. Хорош, хорош.
But this isn't what you came for. These little tricks, you've seen them all before. So it's time for something truly extraordinary, don't you think? This one's a little tricky. Using this water tank, I shall make my sister vanish completely, right before your very eyes.
Опасный
It's actually
фокус.
quite simple. She'll just turn into air bubbles and float right out of the top. Oh no! I told them to check all the props carefully. With the lid on, even air can't escape. An amateur magician would be getting very nervous right around now. Luckily, it's me on stage, so let me show you what a true virtuoso can do. Lynette, are you still there? Don't go too far. We don't want to use up all our magic.
Hi, I'm back.
Uh-huh.
Ну, хотя бы улыбнулась, что ли. На сцене все же, блин. Но это неплохо, классно. Хороший фокус.
If we could see easily through his tricks, then that would mean that his skills are still lacking. To appreciate magic, you should focus on the show happening on stage, rather than getting caught up in trying to see that which has been intentionally...
Guess you're right. Paimon couldn't believe her eyes when Lynette reappeared.
Thank you, everyone. I'm glad you enjoyed that
Ну,
performance.
что-то коротко, давай еще продолжение хочется.
But our magical journey has only just begun. I've prepared even more astonishing surprises for
Ну,
everyone
давай,
here.
давай.
The magic
Весь во
of
внимание.
transformation and disappearance can go far beyond what you've just seen. I'm sure many of you are thinking that escaping the water tank was impressive enough. But Lynette is still my assistant, in which case, I have ample time to make all necessary preparations. So, for my next trick, I will require the participation of one lucky audience member.
Да, давай не Вилента. Давай его.
Please, if my assistants could bring out the magical boxes now. There are 2 boxes, and only 2 boxes. One is here, and one is there in the aisle among the audience. I'm sure many of our clever audience members have already guessed our next magic trick. Our lucky audience member and I will each enter a magic box. After 1 minute, we will each emerge from the opposite box. Now please, everyone pay very close attention to the box you see.
Wow, how's he gonna do this? Hey, do you think this is all magic tricks, or does Lenny have actual superpower?
The lucky audience member will be generated by this random number selector. It selects numbers entirely at random. Even I don't know who will be chosen to participate. Now then, let's begin.
Давай не Вилента. Пускай поучаствует.
Let me see. Oh, row 7, seat 3. Congratulations! You now have the chance to experience magic
воровка, что ли?
firsthand for an entire minute. Please, come forward. My assistant will take you beside the magic box.
Воровка, кажись. Это что, воровка, да?
A little cramped inside, but no need to feel nervous. We've carefully arranged everything for you to be as comfortable as possible.
Ну, как бы ТП-хаться в коробку другую не обязательно. ТП в тюрьму, скорее всего, уж прописать.
You don't need to do anything, but no matter what strange things may happen, don't come out of the box. If the magic is interrupted, who knows where you might end up? You might even find yourself in the fortress of Meripede.
Oh, okay.
All right. Before I enter the magic box, there is one more thing I need to ask the audience to do. Like this. 60, 59, 58. Just keep counting down. You can go a little faster. I won't be able to see anything in the pitch black box, so I'll be relying on your voices to know when time is up. Oh, and no tricks now. If you quickly count from 60 in just 30 seconds, then I'll be in a tough spot.
Ooh, Paimon kinda wants to count faster after hearing him say that.
No, that won't do. I can see it in your eyes. You still can't be trusted. Come on, repeat after me. 60, 59, 58.
60, 59, 58!
That's right, perfect. Keep it going. All right, I'll see you all on the other side once you've finished counting.
54, 53, 52? Huh? Why aren't you counting, Nervalet?
I am counting in my head. I think things are exciting enough in here as it is.
Ну, правильно делает.
Merely a consequence of my identity and personality. Do not worry about me. Just enjoy the show.
Oh, all right. You look so serious that Paimon thought you might be feeling uncomfortable or something.
40, 39, 38! Mr. Linney, are you all right in there?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm just double-checking the direction. It would be a disaster if we get sent to the wrong places. For example, midair right above the audience.
Even though he's saying that, Lenny doesn't seem nervous at all. What was that noise? Did you hear it too? Not sure. Anyway, it doesn't seem like anyone's worried about
25, 24, 23!
Не, ну тут как бы достаточно времени, он так дофига времени сказал, считай, тут достаточно времени, чтобы под пол провалиться и пробежать как бы до другого ящика уже за такое время, и подняться туда, он и, ну, встать, ну, типа, ну, хз, мне кажется, тут что-то немного поменьше надо было времени дать.
What's wrong, Mr. Linney? I can still hear you moving in there.
I seem to have accidentally knocked over a decoration. I'm trying to fix it, but it's pitch black in here. I can't...
Never mind the decorations. There's no time for that. The show is...
No, that's unacceptable. I want my show to be perfect. Don't worry, we still have 20 seconds. Hear them count...
19, 18, 17!
100 раз успеть перебежать туда-сюда.
Seems things aren't quite going as planned. It feels like you're all starting to count faster, but that's all right. I know it can be tiring to do. 10 seconds and change is still plenty of time.
10!
Almost there now. Whew. Swapping two people is harder work than you might think. Even a master magician like me can't guarantee I'll get it right the first time. Hey, wait! Is this the back one? I can't tell. They both look the same inside. Huh? No, that's not it. I'll try again.
7!
Hey, slow down! Honestly!
5! 4! 3!
Whoops! That doesn't count!
0!
Ta-da!
Нормально, нормально, за 2 секунды переместился. Чё? Так и задумано, что ли? Что-то мне кажется, что нет. Мне кажется, так не задумано, да? Ну и кто тут представление офигенное сорвал?
Is this part of the show? Mr. Linney, you're going to use magic to fix the stage now, right?
What happened?
Oh no. Maybe this isn't part of the show. The girl was still in that box.
This performance is over. Medical staff with me. Guards, secure the scene and detain all the performers. Seal the exits. No one is allowed in or out at this time.
Yes, that's right. If this was just an accident, then we must investigate the cause. But if this was all part of some scheme, then
No need to be alarmed, you two. We'll get to the bottom of this soon enough. Unfortunately, the person who is in the magic box has been pronounced dead. His name was Cowell, one of the assistants in Linney's magic troupe. Apparently, the fireworks on stage ignited the ropes that were suspending the water tank. which then caused the tank to fall onto the stage.
Да, не продумано как-то.
As of now, we are still not sure why we found Cowl in the box, rather than the guest from the audience. And after an initial search of the area, the guards have confirmed that the girl is nowhere to be found. It appears that this incident was not merely some mishap with the performance. And there are many indications that it is connected with the case of the serial disappearances of young women.
The serial disappearances case?
That's the case that Charlotte mentioned before.
I know the truth. I can see through the whole thing. Really, using such a shallow and obvious mystery as his finale. Did he really underestimate? I say that our powerful magician, Mr. Linney, is now the prime suspect for the serial disappearances case.
Ну, как обычно, в обвинении вообще без всяких домыслов, без всяких доказательств, сразу сходу просто виновен. Ох уж этот бесполезный гидроархонт. Как же она мне не нравится, мразотная какая-то такая.
The deceased is one of your assistants, is he not?
Ой.
Now that I think about it, that whole speech about magicians making things disappear was nothing more than a provocation, a bald
Архонта намыло. Пожалуйста. Сидит там, вон какую-то чепуху порочит. Этот гидроархонт. Урина, блин, это.
Besides, before the show, he told us that he would like to catch the criminal behind the disappearances. He couldn't possibly mean catching himself.
Save discussion for a later time, please. Lady Farina, may I assume that your comments just now constitute an accusation against Mr. Linney and his associates?
Huh? I just think that he... Well, I think it might be a little early to talk about formally pressing charges.
But what Lady Farina said just now makes perfect sense. Looks like she's gonna personally deliver justice.
A kidnapping and murder carried out under the cover of a magic show. Lady Farina
О,
said
и
it
эти
all.
дурные.
I mean, of course, my dear people. But what excites me even more than the obvious truth, that's right. I mean you, traveler. You'll support Linney, won't you? After all, he was the one who helped you the first time we met.
И пальцами-то не тыкай.
Then there's no problem at all. You know, the traveler and I already had a duel the first time we met.
Чего? Да ни в каком поединке мы не сходились, не ври уж тут.
But with Linney's help, our little duel ended in a draw. But draws really are.
Давай, спускайся оттуда, посмотрим, какая ничья нас теперь ждет.
So, no more draws. Between the two of us, there must be a clear winner and loser. And what better place to hold such a riveting show?
It wasn't a draw. She obviously lost last time.
Замнило много
I
сил.
understand. Charges have now been pressed, and as such, a
Ой,
trial is in order.
блин, пришел театр, называется, посмотреть, а тут, блин, и по башке кому-то прописали, да причем и насмерть еще, и архонт, блин, тут в обвинения какие-то выставляет, вообще никакие не нужны.
Seems Lady Farina has set you in her sights. But putting her dramatic rhetoric aside for a moment, I would like to ask you.
Избалованный какой-то архонт уж у вас в стране.
Are you willing to act as Mr. Linney's attorney and defend him in this case?
Хрен с вами, да.
Very well. The trial will be held a day from now in the Opera House. Both sides may investigate the scene to build their cases and search for the truth. Linney and his troupe are all potential suspects and shall remain within the Opera House. The audience may begin to leave in an orderly fashion once they have been cleared by the guards.
A day isn't that long. Let's see what kind of case this big shot outlander can build in such a short amount of time.
Мне терпится посмотреть, как ты налажаешь, конечно. Прям даже день не хочется ждать, знаешь, хочется прям через пару часов смотреть, как ты облажаешься.
Sorry about everything that happened just now. Were you frightened?
Of course! Who wouldn't be scared after witnessing an accident like that?
Yeah, I'm a little shaken up myself. How could this happen? And I know you already claimed that you would defend me, but now it's just us talking. Tell me, do you think I could possibly be the murderer?
Ну, ты, скорее всего, что-то не подрасчитал, но вряд ли ты это сделал специально, скажем так.
Good to hear. Thank you so much for trusting me. I'm sure everyone sees me as the biggest suspect at this point. But if you ask me, the whole thing is mysteries layered upon. I don't know whether what happened there on the stage was purely an accident or not. And I don't know why poor Cal was in the box. As for how that girl chosen from the audience could suddenly disappear, I'm afraid I don't have any answers either. If someone tampered with my performance, then we need to figure out what they did. Even a skilled and knowledgeable magician like myself couldn't pull all that off in just 1 minute.
Which is precisely why we need to investigate! As this book says, the impossible could not have happened. Whatever happened must have been that which is possible.
А ты где это эти очки с усами взяла?
Paimon bought them when we were reading at the bookshop in the city earlier. Pretty cool, huh?
Да, тебе еще носа такого вот длиннющего прям не хватает для полной красоты.
Paimon used her own savings to buy them. It wasn't from our travel funds.
В смысле, откуда у тебя мора есть? Я что-то не понял. У тебя кармана вроде бы не видать. Ты где деньги взяла? Не понял.
I think they look cute on you, Paimon.
You have good taste, Lynette.
That's the right attitude. Feeling depressed isn't going to help me now. I need to get back to my normal self. But with the guards watching our every move, it's going to be especially difficult for Lynette and I to prove our own innocence. Good thing you agreed to be our attorneys. Thanks for that. We'll be counting on you.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah, just leave it to us. Oh, since we're going to start investigating, Paimon has a question first.
Oh, well, I'm afraid that would involve some of our...
The secrets behind our magic are past saving, Linny.
Ну, мне-то уж можно тогда сказать в данный момент.
I suppose you're right. The truth behind our tricks is going to be important evidence that will be weighted during... 'Tis truly a pity. As a magician, our magic show is a work of art. We've poured countless hours in... But if revealing our secrets will help you uncover the truth behind what happened, then it will be well... We should go somewhere else if we're going to discuss our magic tricks. We'll go speak with the guards, and in the meantime...
Alright, let's go have a look while the investigation teams are still here. Detective Paimon is up! Hello, officer. How's the investigation going?
Ah, I see. You must be the traveler that Lady Farina mentioned. Listen, I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'd avoid...
Huh? What do you mean?
Come with me and you'll see. The deceased is one of Linny's assistants, named Cowell. Even though he hadn't joined the troupe long, he was hardworking and everyone generally liked him. The assistants are usually in charge of setting up and inspecting the props, as well as assisting with the show and keeping the crowd engaged. As you probably saw when you were in the audience, the water tank suddenly fell and smashed the box with Cowell inside it. This is the real mystery. We've already searched the scene and were unable to find any traces of the girl. However, if you look carefully, the box was positioned directly under the water tank. The ropes holding the tank were then burned by the pyrotechnics on stage, causing them to snap. All these factors lining up so perfectly makes it hard to see this as a mere accident. If anything, the more logical explanation is that the whole incident was intentionally planned, and Linny is the most likely person to have access to all these areas.
But he doesn't have a motive.
Are you both good friends of his?
Well, you can't say we're good friends, but...
So in just a short time, he was not only able to win your trust, but even convince you to act as his attorneys. I know there's no such thing as magic. The real trick of a magician is holding the audience in the palm of their hand. I've seen a lot of cases, and I can tell you that people are the least reliable kind of evidence. Sorry, I tend to be pretty straightforward. Just know that I'm warning you. Anyway, you may investigate the scene of the crime yourselves if you're curious. Who knows, maybe you'll be able to come up with some new evidence.
Ё-моё, система новая какая-то.
So this is the rope that broke and caused the water tank to fall. The rope looks pretty durable. How can it be burned through so quickly by fireworks? Why are you suddenly so serious, Traveler? Whoa. Look! This bit is made from different material! Most of it was burned away, but there's still a little bit of it left. Huh. So if a rope meant to hold something was made with that wait! Why would you write all this down?
Зачем вообще ставить веревку, которая легко воспламеняется? Вряд ли то он, наверное, поставил, ну я не знаю.
The investigation team has some new findings. Turns out there's an issue with the random number selector after all.
See, I told you. What if the machine picked some big guy's seat? You think the murderer would have still made his move then?
Sorry to interrupt, but we're helping Linny and Lynette with their side of the investigation. What were you saying about the
You're trying to help them? That'll be a tall order.
Lenny used the machine to pick a random member of the audience during his performance, right? Well, we thought there might be a serious problem with the machine, so we had it taken away for further inspection.
It turns out that the seat number it picked wasn't random at all. The machine picks that same number every time. I'm sure you already know that you have to make a reservation in advance to get a seat, regardless of whether it's a trial or some. In other words, Lenny knew who would be sitting where from the very beginning.
That much checks out. Lenny reserved our seats for us, too.
Bet you see why I was saying it'd be tough to make a case for Lenny.
Even though it's bad for Lenny's case, Paimon had better...
Oh, this location has also been cordoned off because the Magic Troop members are currently considered prime suspects. The investigation team is still collecting it. The seats were all booked in advance, so we were able to deduce the missing woman's identity by checking the guest list. Sure, it's not like this is confidential information. We will publish it later anyway when we petition the public to help us find the missing person. Her name is Halsey. She's a painter from Fontaine who's made a bit of a name for herself. Apparently, she wasn't a regular at the Opera House, but she'd been feeling some pressure with her work lately, which made her decide to come see the magic show. The Magic Troop members all claim not to know her. We have looked into her social connections. It seems that she has no personal grievances or conflicts of interest with the suspect. Simply put, she wasn't related to the Magic Troop at all, which matches the features of the previous serial
Were the victims of previous cases...
That's how it seems to us, in any case. Apart from the fact that they were all young women of around the same age range, there really weren't any other connections between...
Okay, then.
No need to be so formal. If you do happen to see the missing girl, it is of utmost importance that we get to the bottom of these
I see that you're investigating the area. Well, if you find any new and interesting leads, be sure to
We don't have too many thoughts yet.
Then why don't I tell you my hypothesis first? The way I see it. And I'll start it with...
The thud? Oh, you mean the sound that happened during the countdown?
Yes, exactly. It wasn't terribly loud, but I suspect that most people heard it. It's just that everyone was awaiting the results of Lenny's trick with bated breath, so no one paid it much mind. But now that the incident has happened...
That makes sense.
I'm of the opinion that it may have been the sound of Lenny's accomplice. Lynette, perhaps. Jumping atop the water tank, and when the pyrotechnics went off, she cut the rope, sending the water tank crashing down.
But wasn't the noise we heard too loud for that?
Perhaps the balance wasn't right, leading to a particularly rough landing. Oh, that's true.
That does remind Paimon, though. What was with that sound?
Lenny's still talking to the guards. It seems he'll have a lot of explaining. I think someone will be assigned to monitor us later, but...
Так, здесь вроде бы все.
Hey, you! Yes, both of you! Over here! I've been keeping an eye on you for a while now.
Чего? Что за крутые парни?
Huh? You mean us?
That's right. If I'm not mistaken, you're also among those who wish to cut down the thorns and pursue the truth. No?
Well, you're right on the more about that one, but who are you?
Have you never heard of the Spina di Rosula?
Ё-моё, какое длинное имя.
From mediating disputes and providing protection to solving conundrums, you name it, Spina di Rosula does it.
Спина ди Расула, Япон. Да уж, это название.
And I, Navia, have the honor of being its renowned president. Though those who play by our rules call me boss.
I'm Silver, her attendant. Pleased to meet you.
Ну и дядьки, блин.
Demoiselle's various daily needs and affairs are under my purview.
Huh? Boss? Demoiselle? What gives with the names?
Well, I am the second generation president. Malouse and the others are still used to my...
My apologies, Demoiselle. Should you prefer, boss, I will endeavor to use that instead.
No, no need. You don't have to call me boss. Just Navia is fine.
Да я бы и не стал тебя боссом звать. Я на тебя что, работаю, что ли? Что мне тебя боссом звать?
Okay, if you say so. Not that we're members of Spina di Rosula anyway.
All merely trifling details. Never mind. Now, back to the situation at hand. That's right. I've always kept an eye on the serial disappearance cases. My interest stems from a matter back from my father's time. Judging from the look of things, I find Linny an unlikely mastermind.
Really? We think so too! That's why we're looking for clues now. But how did you come to that conclusion?
Intuition, naturally. My unparalleled intuition. Farina sure was quick to point the finger at Linny without any decisive evidence whatsoever, wasn't she?
О, во кто должен за Линь заступаться.
But that's not uncommon for her. If you remember, the justice had to interrupt her and ask if she was pressing charges just to keep her from getting carried away. Anyway, a trial begins the moment someone levels charges. And, of course, there was no way Farina was going to back...
Sounds more like you just don't trust the Hydro
Ну и правильно делает.
Well, what's your opinion? I must admit that she can be interesting at times, but liking her doesn't mean that I'll blindly agree with her. All right, I've answered your question. Now, it's time you answer mine.
Wait a minute, did that answer count?
Well, I say it does. But don't worry, you won't hear any pointless questions from me. In your opinion, do you think it's right to treat a trial like it's an opera?
Well?
And why would that be? See, Silver and Malouse? I told you they'd be different.
Most astute of you, Demoiselle. I, too, think that the Traveler's response was most excellent. No matter how wonderful the script or how fervent the audience's expectations may be, the trials that go on stage here must be based in fact. And if that can be done, boss, then...
All right, that's quite enough, Malouse. Anyway, I like your answer. You passed with flying colors. Now, I need to make some preparations, following which our joint investigation shall commence.
Wait! Since when did we become assistants?
Oh, well, I can be the assistant. Sure. Or your companion, if you like. I'm really not that fussy.
Ну-ка, давай-ка лучше наоборот. Давай-ка лучше ты будешь помощницей.
That's more like it.
Far be it from me to brag, but I believe that Demoiselle's intuition will be instrumental in uncovering the truth. You wish to save a friend from false accusations, and we wish to unravel the disappearances.
You have a point. Huh. You're quite the talker, aren't you? And what about you over there? What do you think? You seem like you've got something on your mind.
I have nothing to add.
Oh, alrighty then.
We'll be making some preparations first. Just be sure to let us know if they start revealing Linny's tricks. Thanks!
Sorry, but no one can freely enter or exit the Opera House at the moment. If you wish to leave...
No, we're not leaving. We're representing Linny and Lynette as attorneys, so were you always guarding this entrance?
Yes, after the Chief Justice gave the order, everyone coming in or out must undergo a strict so the missing girl couldn't have left from here. At least, not from that point on. I doubt there was much opportunity then, either.
How can you be so sure,
Well, because I was in charge of security near the entrance at that time. I couldn't see Linny's performance from here, which was quite a shame. Just my luck. But still, I did not abandon my post, and I stayed put no matter how loud the applause was. If someone had so much as even approached the door, I would have noticed it, let alone if they... We Melazines are good at that sort of thing, you know.
So, it's safe to say the girl couldn't have left through here. All right, thank you for your help. This will be useful in...
Может быть, есть какой-то другой выход.
Here at the performance venue. My mom wonders how Linny's discussion with the guards is going. Let's go see, shall we? Ooh, things are getting interesting, huh? We're about to see how magic is made.
Understood. Then I will be going with you. Just so you're aware, I will be monitoring your actions and making notes as necessary.
Very good. Thanks for being so agreeable. I'd pull a rose out of my hat as a gift for you if I could.
You may spare the pleasantries. I'm just doing my job.
You've arrived. Who's this?
Me? I'm Spina di Rosula's guardian angel. If you've got a problem, I've got the firepower.
Не надо, огнем хватило уже огня.
Sorry, I got a little carried away there. Call me Navia. And these are my companions. Would you mind if they join as well?
Fine by me.
Oh, new helpers? I would be most grateful.
Well, let's just say we're tagging along. It's not every day you get to see the secrets behind magic performed on such a large scale.
I appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
Huh? Below stage?
Yes, a world of secrets is hidden beneath this magic box, prepared specifically for this switcheroo. But before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here? I'm not trying to be dramatic. Remembering the details of a trick will help you understand the methods used to perform it.
Huh. Weren't there balloons and other decorations here?
Ah, good eye. That said, you're still far from discovering the answer.
The back? You mean the inside of the door? What's different about it? Paimon?
Very good indeed. I thought the back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what do you get? Exactly. All right, let's go. I'll tell you how it works as we head down.
Oh, so there was a passageway under the magic box!
Ну, в принципе, я так и думал.
I knew you'd figure out most of it as soon as you saw this place. The two magic boxes are positioned right above the two entrances of the tunnel. See this flatbed trolley? The box with the lucky audience member in it would be shuttled over to the other side using the trolley.
This trolley can raise and lower and even rotate, ensuring that the box will face in the right direction.
I see. So that's the purpose of the box inside another box.
Precisely. The inner box would descend after the audience member was put inside and be moved along the trolley, all while the outer box would remain on stage as if nothing had ever changed.
So that's how you did it!
Once the box was lowered, the trolley would store some energy through this device here, with which it would complete the rest of the steps. The audience member would only be able to feel some slight movements in the dark, and by the time she walked out, she would already be back on—
Right! You were talking that whole time, and you even came out for a moment near the end!
Ah, yes. A phonograph operated by Lynette was used to achieve that effect. My assistant and I had already scripted our conversation beforehand. When the countdown began, I had already gone to the opposite box via a tunnel using that ladder.
And what about Lynette? Where was she?
I was in the mezzanine space in the back of the box.
Oh, interesting!
That's how we were able to coordinate Linny's lines with the assistant. And, by the way, I was the one who walked out of the box at the end.
I mean, we are twins. All it takes is a change of clothes and no one can tell who's who. And that's my favorite part of this trick. Only Lynette and I can perform it.
So that's how it all worked! Wow, every detail you revealed was—
Lynette would briefly walk out of the box and then go back in, jumping into the tunnel and escaping before the box on the trolley could finish ascending. And then I walk out of the other box in the audience area, and the trick would be complete. The operative word here being would. But as you saw, Cal was in the box, not our audience member. She, on the other hand, mysteriously vanished.
We really don't know how that happened.
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. I probably never would have figured out how you pulled it off.
Ну, не знаю, как по мне было, ну, да, я догадался сразу, что что-то под низом там переезжает и уезжает.
To commit a crime. Could we have a look around? I think we can come up with some more leads.
This is the scene of the crime. So Linny and Lynette are not permitted to stay here.
Yes, of course. No need to be so strict now. I won't disappear into thin air, you know.
Thanks, everyone. We're counting on you.
Ух, сколько всего. Что за рычаг?
What's this?
Looks like a hook tied to the end of a rope. Huh?
Perhaps it was a prop for a different trick. But why would it have been left here?
Whatever it is, let's make a note of it first.
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
Speaking of which, why would there be water?
Oh, Paimon knows! It's one of those tricks where you pour water into a jug and here's a broken vase. Huh.
That can't be. The trolley moves along tracks from start to finish. It couldn't have hit the vase.
Let's note this down too and...
Oh, these are the clothes that the lady chosen from the audience was wearing, right?
Что-то уже нашли. Нулику подобное.
Her clothes are here. She's nowhere to be found.
Right. And do you really need to do that if you're kidnapping them? Ugh, this is so confusing. Paimon doesn't want to be a detective anymore.
Давай же, блин.
What is this place?
It seems someone could fit through here.
Huh. Could this have been the suspect's escape route?
Alone, perhaps. But if they had to pull another person with them, the space would be too narrow.
But there are no other ways in or out of here. Oh, you're right! Let Paimon write that down. Seems we're just about done investigating down here.
Yes. Let's head back up. Well, we've ascertained the state of the crime scene. Let's find a place to sort out our findings once Malus returns. It seems to me that there are several things that don't add...
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle.
So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal escape through the vent?
They believe the odds of that are very low, since the vent leads to the Opera House's basement. The guards have checked the area carefully. No one left through the basement during the performance or after the incident, and no one was found hiding there.
So the tunnels become like a secret chamber then! You know, like the kind you usually see in novels!
The plot thickens. Halsey's disappearance and Cowell's death... No wonder Farina was so confident in her accusation. All the current evidence points toward...
In other words, the charges are very likely to be upheld unless we make some considerable progress.
Charges and then trial. So if the charges are...
That's right. This is how a trial goes in the Opera House. During the proceedings, the Chief Justice and the Oratrice will hear statements from both sides. That's right. This is how indemnitium is produced. The statements from both sides, the defenses from attorneys, witness testimonies, and even the audience's emotions will all be... To put it simply, it's as if the Oratrice has its own will, and is a judge in its own right.
This also precludes any kind of favoritism on the part of the Chief Justice. Not that this has ever happened anyway.
Once both sides have finished speaking, the Chief Justice will make his final decision. This, too, will be used by the Then, finally, the Oratrice will be consulted by officials. The result it returns is the will of justice itself.
Huh? So that machine is the one that actually decides? Paimon thought Neuvillette called the shots.
In practice, there is very little difference. Both have always come to the same judgment. Which is why people have great faith in the Chief Justice. Yes, the guards also asked me to convey that none of us will be allowed to leave this place before the trial.
Huh? Why?
Because we've chosen to act as the twins' proxies. That makes us persons related.
They're concerned that we might be colluding with outside parties. Or that we might fight, and even if that were not so, it could prove problematic if we happen to spread key information about the case.
I'm ready to break out at any time.
Хорош.
Whoa, there's no need for that. Paimon thinks they have a point. That said, are they
Of course. I just hope you don't mind the lack of options. I'm afraid that catering to all tastes is not in the cards, nor is any guarantee of balanced nutrition.
In that case, let's just sort out our findings together here. Pity. I was hoping to take you to try some of Fontaine's famous desserts, too. I mean, what better way to properly think through our findings than over some tea and sweets?
Чай и сладости. Ну да.
Huh. Breaking out suddenly doesn't seem like such a bad idea after all.
Да нормально они говорят, что ты.
Just kidding. Paimon will still do her best, even if there are...
Hmm? What do you mean, no snacks? Of course we'll have snacks. If we cannot buy some, then we'll simply make some.
Huh? Here? But...
Understood, mademoiselle. Everyone, please come with me.
Тут кухня, что ли, есть?
Wait, you're carrying a portable stove with you?
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the demoiselle's baking needs whenever the fancy strikes her.
I have eggs, sugar, and almonds at the ready.
Ты где их с собой носишь? В карманах, что ли? Блин.
Good work, you two. Then I'll get to it. Please sit tight for a moment. You'll get to taste my awesome snacks soon enough.
Где он с собой все эти ингредиенты носит? Он реально в карманах, что ли, их таскает?
These three are quite the interesting group. And Paimon thought it smelled good while it was still in the oven. Oh, it's even better now. From the way you had these two guys carrying all that stuff around, Paimon thought you'd have them do more during the baking process. But you ended up doing the entire thing by yourself. Beating the egg whites, grinding almonds, everything.
I was applauding.
And I was giving encouraging smiles.
Paimon was just thinking, aren't you worried about getting your fancy dress dirty, beating egg whites and baking like this?
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere that fancy ladies can only read books, sip tea, ride horses, and play the piano. I just really enjoy... Don't underestimate beating egg whites, by the way. It's a real arm workout. You also need to beat them to just the right consistency, or your macarons will crack.
Я далек от этой темы, мне можешь не рассказывать.
Anyway, give these a try. Fresh out of the oven. There's 3 for each of us.
Only 3?
Well, eating too many sweet treats might send all that sugar to your head. You wouldn't be able to think clearly.
Tea is ready to be served as well. This is Demoiselle's favorite, strong black tea with a floral fragrance that clears the mind and lifts the spirit. No need for concern, I'm merely doing as I should.
А они что, есть не должны, что ли? Они что ж тут с нами остались-то? Дайте им хотя бы пирожных.
Down to business. As Paimon mentioned previously, the tunnel seems to be something of a secret chamber. However, we can assume that Linny and Lynette were not alone within it. Some criminal also occupied its sealed confines. The magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course, but they lack any logical motive.
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was watching?
The flower vase and the thud we heard during the performance could indicate some altercation between Halsey and the criminal in the tunnel, resulting in the shattering of the vase, the discarding of her clothes, and her abduction. Perhaps the criminal thought that since she was chosen from the crowd, she would be too easy to identify if she was still wearing the same clothes.
that makes sense, but the real trouble is...
True. None of the clues we found thus far support the existence of this third person. But the only people left to consider are both technically victims. Whether it's the missing girl, Halsey...
Huh. Could Halsey have secretly made modifications to the magic props in order to murder Cowell before making her escape?
That's right. And even if she had tampered with the setup, she would need to understand the entire trick to pull it off. Nor does she have any motive. The guard said that she has never had any dealings with the magic troop's members.
Were we not thorough enough in our search? From the sound of things, this is turning into an impossible... Your macarons are amazing though, Navia. They smell great! They're nice and crisp.
They are my specialty after all. And...
What? 5? Oh, that can't be right. Paimon only counted 3! On it!
Please don't worry about it. At my age, a few less sweets might
Вот,
actually
блин,
be a
Пайман
good thing.
деда обделила. Блин, да за что? О, зараза такая.
No. Being greedy is one thing, but Paimon knows how to count. Besides, Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have enough. Wait, even you don't believe Paimon? If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons, then may they turn into stone in her stomach!
Хе-хе-хе-хе. И сейчас такой бомб. Все, кто-то летать не может.
All right, we get it. Well, I suppose one of us might have gotten too engrossed in our chat and eaten them by Miss Maloose. Set up the stove again, if you would.
Huh? What are you doing?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
Exactly. We don't want to trouble you.
As you wish, demoiselle.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almonds.
Еще одни.
Well, this really is your hobby, huh?
Двойные карманы, блин.
Well, that's it for snack time.
Килограмм миндаля, килограмм муки с собой носит в карманах, блин, этих.
I don't know what we're looking for yet. But
Как
we've still
приходит
got some
на
time.
базу, пополняет
As attorneys,
запас.
I suggest the two of you think the case over again. It would be awkward if you got all tongue-tied on stage during the trial.
All right, thanks for your help and for the snack.
It was nothing. A small task for the Spina di Rosula. Silver, Maloose, it's time to go. I'll be back if I find anything new.
It's time to put our heads together. We've got to get our defense ready for the trial.
Ну,
Oh, it's probably gonna be a long and difficult case. There's no point in worrying about that now. We just need to prepare. Here, take Paimon's notes. They should help you review the situation.
ну, как бы мы максимум сможем доказать, что Лини не причастен именно к этому, что он как бы... Не он это сделал, но мы как бы и не можем указать на то, кто это сделал и кто преступник, как вообще это произошло. Ну, я не знаю, у нас нет улик как бы для того, чтобы кого-то обвинить и что-то в этом роде, какое-то предложение сделать. Хрен его знает. Сейчас посмотрим, что будет. Мне пока нет идей. Ну-ка. 8 часов утра.
I have to stifle a smile every
фотка.
time. I remember the look on my retainers' faces when I informed them of my plans today. Panic-stricken, but unable to muster the courage to say anything in opposition.
What do we do? The whole situation is so confusing. Impossible things don't just happen. We'll get to the truth one way.
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects Lenny and Lynette, at least we will be supporting them from this. Besides, I doubt Farina understands any more about what happened than we do.
Thanks, Navia. Well,
best of luck to you.
В смысле она знает, точнее не знает, у нее что-то эти, как его, вот эти вот стражники, или как их зовут, тоже тут все осматривали, работали. Ну, кроме туннеля, конечно.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how did your investigation?
To be honest, you might be disappointed.
No. We're already very grateful that you were willing to help.
Well, now, don't you all look disappointed? Don't tell me that your investigation came up empty-handed. That was to be expected, of course. The guilty can never produce proof of their innocence. But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed should you, my most anticipated foe, concede so.
Since both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident is now in session. Firstly, in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please have Mr. Linney explain the trick?
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All the necessary items have been
Thank you, Mr. Linney. In that case, I take your statement to be that you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began.
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Farina, do you wish to refute his statement in any way?
Ну-ка давай, что она
Why,
выкинет.
of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open. Mr. Linney is clearly lying.
И каким же образом он лжет? Ну-ка давай.
There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly in that tunnel at all.
Ну, как бы обвинение без всяких-то на то пруфов, доказательств и чего-то там, да. Ну,
That is
понимаю.
simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that so? And if I may ask, what did you hear while you were inside your box?
Ну, счет людей,
The
логично.
roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing that might leave an impression of any...
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud that I believe practically everyone heard it.
Huh?
Ну, не услышал, проблем со слухом, что поделать.
Hey, hang on. Something's not right here.
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
I was right by the box, and I definitely heard the thud.
Look at those scales. Could those mean...
Сейчас, секунду. Тут такой интересный спор выдался.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. Of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid. Tell me, aren't you and Lynette actually from the House of the Hearth?
The House of the Hearth?
Что за дом очага вообще? Фатуи. Мне просто заспойлерили, что они фатои, я это знал, поэтому я не удивляюсь.
So the serial disappearances were the Fatsui's doing. Now it all makes sense.
Я как бы просто знал, что они фатуи, меня заспойлерили, заразы такие.
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just an accident.
That's irrelevant. Our identities have nothing to do with what happened.
Indeed. Then perhaps you could tell us everything that happened during that 1 minute. Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. Unless your script already has holes in it. The Outlander is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted?
Что это такое?
Now comes the infight. Oh, good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really paying off.
Hey, Linny, why didn't you tell us this before?
Order! Order! Mr. Linney, allow me to re-establish the facts. Lady Farina has raised 2 points. First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of Hearth. Are these claims true?
Ну, как бы, насчет того, что он не говорил, что он фатуй, наверное, как бы начинает там на каждом углу кричать. Иначе, мне кажется, если бы он сказал, и все бы знали, что он фатуй, то к нему на представление никто бы не пришел.
Please answer my question, Mr. Linney.
I'm sorry. Yes, they're true, Your Honor.
I knew it!
Well, that's it. We might as well move on to the sentencing already.
Ой, какие вы они быстрые, а? Оглашать ему уже все надо.
Granted. In that case, what is your request?
Is that really necessary? They're already as good as guilty.
The defendant deceived their own attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
Order! Order, I say!
This is order. Прям как Джун Ли говорит.
Your request is reasonable, and we shall adjourn. This trial will reconvene in 1 hour.
So you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even after knowing what you do now? In that case, my dear audience, let's allow the joy of victory to steep for a...
Well, this is awkward. I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up. I'm sorry, Traveler, and...
Yeah, sorry.
Paimon doesn't know where to start. We trusted you two. We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guys. Not to set the wrong tone or anything, but Paimon's really mad!
I'm very sorry. I know you're angry, and reasonably so. I know you've clashed with the Fatui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the word is enough to me. But our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very...
Right now, we want to save people. As many as we can.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face. I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends. That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details instead. The truth is very important, but being completely transparent about everything would see us spending more effort than we need to. Right. So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, You met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. But still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am no criminal. At least...
Sorry. Please, forgive...
Well, you both say that, but... Right. Let's hear your answer first, and no lies now!
Of course. I'll answer any question. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. Why can it deliver sentences accurately? During our investigations, we learned that the machine's core is beneath it. From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick, with the objective of getting close to the core.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room in which the core is stored.
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, which should have been impossible, of course, I was quite certain that that voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated the way I came. On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it any thought. After that, the homicide occurred just as you saw.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal with that prophesized crisis.
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth. It was never my wish to proceed under this cloud of mistrust either. But, like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust...
Well, Traveler, you decide. Paimon will follow your lead however you choose.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is that the scales are tipped pretty badly against you two. If we want to
Да это сложно будет так-то оправдать уже.
we're gonna need a seriously watertight defense.
Ну, как бы... Это реально будет сейчас теперь сложно. С такими секретами.
Oh, Paimon thinks...
Да, это, конечно, интересно, конечно, сейчас будет очень такое оправдать.
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial. When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her...
That took long enough. Now then, if everyone would at this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linney's perspective.
Ё-моё. Сложно.
As the countdown began, he entered the tunnel.
Так, спустился, предположим.
When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud. He did not realize that this sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why he claimed earlier that he could not hear the sound. Finally, he used the vase to knock her out, before making her change clothes to prevent others from recognizing her. At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise, and caught Linny red-handed. So Linny proceeded to knock him out too before stuffing him into that box. Afterward, Linny passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stands, before operating the devices such that Cowell's death would be ruled an accident.
Чего? Когда это он через ящик кого-то успевает там передать, не понял.
And there you have it. That's the truth.
Насчет ящика не согласен, что-то там, мне кажется, да там не было такого момента.
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina's description of the events?
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events. What Linny experienced and what he saw.
Меня напрягает вот этот грёбаный ящик. Когда он там кому что успел передать? Такого быть даже не может. Так, ну ладно, нам надо опровергнуть, я так понимаю, все из этого, да? Ладно, давай сначала. Лени входит в туннель. Лень вошел в туннель, когда начался обратный отчет. Да, он вошел в туннель. Так, и вот никто не выходил и не заходил. Вот это вот сюда, вот где? Выходы. Опроверг. Никто... Нет. А что тогда здесь можно как опровергнуть? Да япон, что за ерунда. Ну давай сюда, тогда оно как бы туда и туда может подойти.
According to Linny, he left via the vent after entering the tunnel. He couldn't have had that altercation with
Ну как бы это может, можно и сюда отнести доказательства, и сюда, по сути, я правильно как бы сказал. Что это? Ну, здесь, наверное, ничего тут не предъявишь. Ой. Даже серьезно уже. Сюда ничего не подходит, что ли? Что?
Lenny went to the room that contains the Oratrice's core. This is the actual truth.
А, блин, типа надо по порядку, что ли, его действие состоять, как он, типа, спустился, полез, залез и все такое, что ли? Блин, я думал, надо просто какие-то факты предоставить, чтобы опровергнуть их, как бы, а тут тупо по порядку надо составить его действие, ну, блин. Ну, чё, тогда после этого он чё поделал? Все, я теперь понял. Я думал, что просто надо как-то какие-то доказательства, чтобы опровергнуть. А тут, оказывается, нужно просто составить прямой план действий, что он делал, как он нам рассказал. Так, он услышал звук, и он полез обратно, испугался. Так, а что это у нас тут такое? А, он оглушает своего этого Коула. Ну... Я не знаю, что здесь. Платье, что ли?
Lenny did not take part in the underground altercation. He only witnessed traces of the aftermath.
Attention! Ace Detective Paimon has something to say! When the countdown started, Lenny did indeed go into the tunnel. But he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement, which is where, once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. Since he felt something was amiss, the crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again. And in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any... Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Then...
Опровергнуто, предположим. Ну, это немного, конечно, да. То ли я что-то не понимаю, то ли не знаю.
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing of the incident?
That's right!
My reasoning?
Реквизит на сцене подменили.
If that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill? Assuming that what you say is true, Lenny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What?
Oh, they have a point.
That's right, you tell him! And that's why they're partners of mine.
Oh, well, your denial is very strident, I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back your claims? Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, you're saying that he wasn't.
Ох, Япон. Момент совершения. Ну и жестко, конечно, тут все. Что является доказательством того, что Лини не было в туннеле в момент совершения преступления. А, из трех это выбрать выходы.
That's right! Lenny wasn't in the box or in the tunnel. That's why he didn't. This means that when the crime happened, Lenny had already entered the basement. The same clue you used to disprove his alibi has now become the best proof! How do you like that?
Well played.
To think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Lenny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
Ну, как бы мы не знаем, кто был убийцей.
Could there have been a third person involved? Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member. Or
Ну, кстати, может быть.
the deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. He would have been able to
Ну
tamper
да,
with
сам
the
себя
equipment.
грохнул. Вряд ли.
Could there have been a third person involved? Is that really a possibility?
Не, ну в принципе могла она, мне кажется.
Halsey is the missing person and an...
Да, попробуем. Нет, не она. Ну, значит, стопудово это третий кто-то. Да вы угорайте.
The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant.
Ну и шо? Он все знал о реквизите и так далее. Ну и что это дает?
That can't be right. The killer was, in fact...
Да вам самим-то не смешно это говорить.
Oh, is that so? How interesting!
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to victim. No one entered or left the opera house through its entrances. The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. He would have been able to tamper with the equipment. Lenny was not in the tunnel at that. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have bumped. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. So no one entered or left the opera house through it. No one entered or left the opera house. The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel. It would have been tough for both people to fit into that. Halsey's clothing.
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble figuring things out?
I see how it is. So this was all just a bluff. And here I thought you had
Look, since we're at a dead end, why not consider it just like the trick as it transpired? The end result must have been utterly different from the
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared.
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits, and none of them seem... It's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person disappear. You know, like you did from that water tank, Lynette.
Excuse my interruption, dear opponents, but do you not see that the crowd is growing impatient? There is no greater sin.
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Lenny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave the sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. The deceased's name is Cowell, Lenny's assistant. No one entered or left the opera house.
Я уже на рандом такой уже не пытаюсь думать, что тут все с логикой туго.
Not broken by chance.
Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes behind. If there's a similar method where a person...
Just a moment. How could a person ever be transformed into water? This is reality we're talking about here. Must we really? I should think magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirection. But Halsey's disappearance is very real. We're talking...
Even so, I trust the travelers. The truth must be out there somewhere. Perhaps some new line of reasoning may open if we try to gather all the focal points that don't make sense. Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him. But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings, would it?
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their rope. The way I see it,
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an impasse, I believe that additional evidence may help us make more progress.
Япон, он, конечно, сидит такой деловой,
Guards,
клёво.
please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of the deceased, Cowell.
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must be shared with everyone post-haste. We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage, each labeled. The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are... water from the primordial sea. The note's contents also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that sells illegal drugs and that he had an accomplice. The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve appears many times. One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. It is empty. The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of test subject. As such, we believe that the defense's hypothesis is...
You've got to be kidding! People dissolving into water?
Could something so ridiculous actually...
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but it's just...
If people can become water, does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if... Wait just a minute. Could that mean... You two!
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Let's go. Just trust me.
Order! Order! It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some surprising results. Still, Let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be found. Guards, please continue examining the items along these lines. Mr. Linney, it appears your hypothesis is supported by the evidence, so please...
Of course. Thank you, Your Honor. If we uphold this hypothesis, I believe that many of this case's seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right! Like the metal hook! Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the primordial sea.
Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant for another magic trick. The water from the primordial sea. The rope that strung the water. The deceased's name is Cowell. The water from the primordial sea should already... The deceased's name is Cowell. Now it seems like the hook rope... Lynette was in the magic box.
Да ё-моё.
I remember there was something else. Lynette was in the magic box on... The water from the primordial sea should all... The rope that strung the water tank... I remember there was some... Now it seems like the hook rope was not meant... I remember there was some... Now it seems like the hook rope was... Now it seems like the hook rope was... I remember there was something else... The deceased's name is Cowell.
It's Ace Detective Paimon's turn! In the original plan, Cowell would tamper with the water tank rope and the number selector securing his target. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box. When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial sea inside it would pour down, and afterward, Cowell would enter the tunnel and break the flower vase to conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel, and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
Huh. That does make sense.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing...
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person?
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the... His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
On that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that I shall now invite him on stage to share it with us.
Почему это сразу не могли все найти?
We were just inspecting the... And we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Linny's personal effects.
What?
That can't be. Oh, I see. Well, how wonderfully comedic to have your own
Такой нет, дурацкий смех, так бесит прям.
Does this not clear all doubt? My dear citizens, my loyal audience, allow me to present my...
Начинается.
Linny did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all.
Indeed, he did leave the scene via the vent, having made modifications to the props beforehand. His accomplice Cowell then caused Halsey to vanish, but upon his return, in cruel avarice, Linny desired sole credit and prepared. Ultimately, he knocked Cowell out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up also became a murder weapon. Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward conclusion, it does seem that the famed Fatui is quite the cold-blooded. Am I right, Mr.?
We've used up all the evidence we collected. There's no way for us to make a rebuttal here. Is this the end of the...
Oh no! Seems using the water as new evidence was too good a move.
I think we've all seen enough now, and I believe this is indeed... Now then, my good, noble Chief Justice.
Excuse me, everyone, but I'm...
Miss, I must ask you not to shout, and to respect the...
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good reason for interrupting, you know. Now, would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate and see, I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared. What in the world is...
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope as a magician.
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting a fascinating illusion. But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's performance? Come on, Linny and Lynette. Give it another go. Don't worry. But as the magic makers and stars of the show, I think I should leave the final performance to you.
I understand.
And voila.
Внезапный поворот.
Sorry for the interruption.
Wait, isn't that Halsey? So the whole thing of...
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me. And then before...
That'll teach you to underestimate us three.
Where should I begin?
What? Why?
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from
Ого, из
Mondstadt.
Mondstadt, ё-моё.
I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I'd never been caught before, but I was noticed at the harbor a few days ago, and I barely got away. Linny was the one who caught me in the act.
Hey!
Ну, я так и знал,
You look familiar.
что это она
You
была.
were the thief. Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was on to me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee. But then I got water poured on me for no reason, and then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me. I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costumes. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Can a person even hide in there?
But I swear I didn't know that the water tank would fall down. Really, I swear it. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic box. I may be a thief.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now, doesn't it?
This time, we need to tell the The strange sound wasn't from a fight. It was Lily-Ann's attempt to break... flower vase was not broken to cover anything up, but was smashed during the struggle between... Lillian was afraid that she would be recognized if she left, so she changed clothes and hid, biding her time.
And it's Ace Detective! Having been selected out of the blue, Lillian panicked. Her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open. Produced hearing the commotion, Cowell leapt into the tunnel, only to he did not know that Lillian was not from Fontaine, but was a thief. Mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed time to take effect, he tried to force Lillian. The two broke the flower vase during the struggle, but Lillian came out on top, knocking Cowell out, and with no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid in the costume trunk until the performance. That she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave after.
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses.
At this point, all the events that
Ah, so that's... Bravo!
Now then, Lady Farina, do you wish to speak against the defense? Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the...
What? Are you reading my mind now? No, I have no further arguments. I admit...
Wow! Look at that! She's like a deflated balloon
Так ей надо.
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence. The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine and thus fled the box with a loud noise. Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box, and thus became his own final victim. Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was thus ignorant of these happenings. From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Linny, the accused...
Hooray, Linny and Lynette!
While there is much in Linny and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated, this case, at least, can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision. As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared.
Great work, partners.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Next, I think we deserve an explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the water from the primordial sea in Linny's baggage?
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know.
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny, but you, yes? I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
I was just following orders. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity to do so.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become a liability. Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know, and seek the protection.
Yes, I'll tell you everything. Our boss discovered that the water can cause people to dissolve. It can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience unforgettable exhilaration. We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent mora off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea.
Наглядное представление вот этой пробирочки.
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness.
An outrageous act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
У него что ли в шлепе была там эта пробирка припрятана или что? Откуда вообще? Как он растворился? Откуда в него вообще брызнули?
We're just going back now? That's true.
Traveler, Paimon, please wait.
Lenny.
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want, but still. Let me thank you again for defending me to the end. Even after you learned that I'm a member of the Fatui. I guess. But regardless, I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself. Just as for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with... That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then too.
The Knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth? She's your father?
That's right. And since we're here, I was wondering... Back when our parents first died, Lynetta, to survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. It took me several days to figure... I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner, and we began to perform magic tricks there. To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. But I didn't want my sister to remain a street rat together with me forever. Before long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished to take us in after watching...
So you went from orphans to nobility?
That was how we felt at first, too. As if fate was on our side and we could say goodbye to those painful days. But I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention, which he would then use to expand his social circles.
That doesn't seem too bad either.
It took a while for me to realize just how dark. After one particular performance at a banquet, I discovered that Lynette was not on the... I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. I went to that noble's bedroom and asked him about her whereabouts. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift. I mean, you'll be able to perform your magic regardless of who you're...
Oh no. So he was... But wouldn't Fontaine's laws...
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care, and they have their ways of escaping the eye of the law. I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person and hurried through the night. But by the time I leaped, all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood. And the nave.
So, she'd already taken...
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm, and had even discovered several girls hidden in a basement, all of them orphans. Father, I mean, the knave, might have seen something in me, and so the House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray you. Indeed, betrayal shall... I was hesitant to trust her. I mean, I had just been... But she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first, giving...
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
She has her own... She has gained permission from the Tsaritsa to first use the Gnosis's power once she obtains it. She plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy.
So, she believes in that prophecy?
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to combat that crisis. Today's case has also proven that people from Fontaine can indeed dissolve into some sort of water, thus further supporting... Everyone at Hotel Bouffe d'été, including the knave, has their roots in Fontaine. And we will, to us orphans, the only connection we have left to this world, apart from...
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets, to huge schemes like stealing a Gnosis, everything is aimed at dealing with that prophecy.
It's all right. I understand. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the House, I have never stopped making my own decisions, and that I believe what I'm doing is right. If you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to find me. I will do my best.
Bye, Linny.
Так, все, на этом хорош уже. Надо выходить из этого душного здания. Блин, опять сейчас что-то будет, что ли?
Hey there. What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us, Navia?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearance. Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
Besides, are you sure we're the ones who can crack a case that's... And given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a trail of breadcrumbs.
Ah, I see. Well, I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that. Sorry. I might have been too...
Don't say that, Nav.
Aw, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant mire, causing new hope to spring forth, and the reflection in the murk... Sorry about that. Wait, shall we have a farewell meal? You know, to commemorate our time...
Huh? Do we really need to get that formal?
Well, I'd just like to have a proper ending to every important memory. Anyway, it would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of your time.
You don't have to twist Paimon's arm, if possible.
Oh, wonderful. In that case, why don't we return to the court of Fontaine?
All right then, let's have our...
Наконец-то выпустите меня из этого здания уже долбанного. Ух. Почти 60 круток. Лишь 22 смолы успел восстановиться за такое долгое время. Не помешал бы второй выбить. Ну ладно, не буду. О, еще достижение. Так, а на этом пока все.